YouTube. I'm here to do a update video for my collection room. It's only been about 3.5 years, so relatively soon. But we just had Christmas and everything, and I figured I'd got a decent amount of stuff, and I've been redoing the room a lot lately as well. So I thought this was probably the best time I could, get back at it and show off the room a little bit and what's been going on. So as you can see here, this is a bit of my movie poster collection, which is just for when you're going up the stairs. And then I actually finally got what I consider a door, but it's just a shower curtain. But not too bad. It does the job for the most part. Alright, so let's get back into it. So, like I said, it's been almost 3 years, so there's been a decent amount of stuff that I've collected over time. So I figure I'll just go inch by inch for the room, and I'll just do a quick overview of everything. Alright, so starting over here, got a few of my little gremlin things. I was able to get some of my Ant-Man movie cells, which are awesome. I got to meet Stan Lee right before his passing, R.I.P., which was kind of an unbelievable experience. There was nothing like that. He truly was one of the most genuine, nice people I've ever met in my life, and it made me unbelievably happy to meet him, and I was just so grateful that I was able to meet him before the unfortunate passing. Alright, now moving on up here, the Amiibo collection has gotten decently bigger. It's running all the way across over here, and I have a couple more coming, like the Ice Climbers and stuff like that. I was able to move all of my NECA Freddy stuff onto its own shelf over here. I'm loving that NECA Freddy snake that just came out with the ultimate accessory set. It looks awesome, and I was just so happy to finally be able to, one, get these guys out of the box, because I've had them in the box for so many years at this point, so it was pretty cool to be able to just finally pop them out and get them all together like that. And I'm hoping, now that NECA's pumping out these Jason figures as much as they are, that this will be my Jason shelf once I have a whole bunch more coming in. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Down over here, I actually picked up a whole bunch of the Ghostbusters accessories that came out this year, with the Proton Pack and the Ecto glasses and everything, which they came out really, really cool. But I still gotta kind of find a place to get them, maybe up on the wall or something like that. Alright, down here I have all of the, basically the bigger version of the NECA produced Godzilla and King Kong ones, because they're just, they take up so much room that there's not really much area to put them besides on the floor. The arcade machine is still working as usual. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing, I'm using the storage area in here for a lot of the comics and stuff now, because that's starting to overflow big time on the comic book shelf, which, there's only so much room you can have for them, but I can't throw any of it out, so I guess I'm stuck. Back here, I was able to finally get my bookshelves and DVD shelves going, which was nice. So instead of just having them piled up in like the back crates and stuff like that, I was able to organize them out and get a lot of my graphic novels in here. I've just been putting random figures here and there just to fill out the gaps. I got all my select figures up here for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Hugh Jackman just chilling in the back, because unfortunately I got nowhere else for him to go, but he's fine. And then down here I got that 18-inch Alien that, again, I love, but it's always a room thing, so you gotta kind of cram him in the back, because sadly he's kind of hard to get on the shelves in this room. Alright, and then moving over to here, I have a couple of just random older NECA horror figures, and then that new Chucky one that just came out. I'm trying to get a shelf soon so I can probably prop them up a little bit more, give them a little bit more space. They have that new 2018 Halloween Michael Myers and hopefully the Laurie Strode figure coming out soon, so maybe if I can get enough Michael Myers figures, we can get that as for its own shelf as well. And then this is kind of a hodgepodge of just DC figures that I've just been cramming together. because I'm much more of a Marvel Legends collector, but I still love the DC Universe, so whenever I can get my hands on a figure that's really jumping out, I always jump on it. And these are my Arkham Asylum, City, Origins, all that jazz figures, which honestly, I might, even though the articulation isn't great on them, it might be my favorite, like, line of figures that I own, or I've actually ever wanted to collect. These are some of my older NECA Ghostbusters figures. I kind of crammed them away a little bit because those select ones that have been coming out have been so great. So I kind of just moved the collection that way, but I still have a kind of a special place for them. Alright, and then up here I have a few more of the PlayStation figures, which I was pretty happy about. They just started talking about that Spyro figure that's coming out, so I cannot wait to get him incorporated up in there with them. And then moving on to some of my X-Men figures, which I'm hoping to really start expanding on, because now that Marvel Legends is pumping out so many of the X-Men figures lately, it's going to be pretty good to try to get this growing as much as I can. I mean, where am I going to put them? I don't know, but we shall see. Alright, and then moving over here, this was originally a Sinister 6 display, but now it's like a Sinister 17 at this point, because there's just so many villains. But I'm loving how this came out. Have a whole bunch of the alternative Spider-Mans over here, which I'm falling in love with more now after seeing Spider-Verse. I mean, at the time they were fun little figures, but I have a new appreciation for them. Alright, and then we move over to a little bit of intergalactic characters, Fantastic Four, stuff like that. And then down here at some of the old Disney Store Marvel Selects, a couple of Godzilla figures, which I'm going to be excited for King of the Monsters. I'm hoping that they're able to make large scales Mothras and King Ghidorahs and stuff like that to go with the Godzilla and King Kong over there. And then we have a couple over here. We have my Stranger Things collection, which I'm missing a decent amount of characters, but I only started recently collecting those. There's a little bit more of a mixed match of X-Men villains. Some are select, some are legends, here and there. And then down here I started recently collecting too the Kingdom Hearts stuff, which has been coming along pretty well so far, so I'm liking that. Just hoping that they're going to start moving more into actual, more Disney characters and not just keep doing the same variants of Sora and the other characters, but we'll see. And then moving into a little bit of Nightmare Before Christmas characters. And then we got my Star Wars here, which that's starting to get a little crowded in there, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep that in there once I start getting a few more characters. And then here's a few busts I have here. And then this is the bulk of the Marvel Legends that I have, which I did mostly villains to the left, and then I did heroes to the right, which I wish I had a little bit more room to display them out, but, you know, when you got so much room, you gotta just start cramming them together. So it's a little crowded, but I think it does the job well for the most part. Okay, and then just my bed, nothing to see really. Up here, there's a couple of plush stuff. And then that's gonna move into a Star Wars display, but it's more of just anything but just the regular Black Series stuff, so it's all some of the older figures, like you say, Legos, board games, all kinds of stuff like that, because I had a lot of people just giving me random Star Wars stuff here and there, and it kind of just didn't fit randomly here and there, so it kind of just worked more as just cramming it into one big shelf together. But I don't know, I don't want to take the Black Series and put them on there because I feel like they're going to get lost with that stuff. And then our last shelf is completely dedicated to all the NECA stuff. So we have our Gremlin stuff here, and I have the new Gremlin figures that they're doing coming soon. I cannot wait to get those on the shelf. We have some Ash vs. Evil Dead stuff, which that Henrietta still came out so amazing. I love that figure. We have Caesar popping in the background back there. And NECA's been killing it with these Pennywise figures. I mean, I actually didn't think I was going to like the 90s one better, but, I mean, that figure is just unbelievably cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, the new one is great too, but they just did such a great job with that 90s Pennywise. And then I got my Ed 209 back there with the RoboCop. And we got a bunch of our Terminator stuff here. And then we move on to Aliens with my Queen Alien. And this is the original one that came back way back when they did the Alien vs. Predator movies. I definitely want to get my hands on one of the newer Queens that they did, because that one's starting to get a little janky and falling apart. But this is one of the first things I ever collected, so it's kind of got one of those special places in my heart. Alright, and then moving on to here, this was the select Ghostbusters stuff I was talking about, which kind of is unfortunate because of the way the roof is. I can't do the full display, but the diorama base for the most part is still really, really cool, even without all the background stuff going on. So I'm incredibly happy with that. And then down there is just some of those smaller Star Wars figures. Okay. And then moving on over here, I got some of these at the Nintendo store in Manhattan, which I just thought they were really cool. This little over the years Mario stuff. And moving on over here, this was my NECA 8-bit collection, which I'm not much of a person that likes to keep my figures in the box, but these box displays are just so cool. Like, it really is hard for me to ever take them out, so I've kind of just accepted at this point that I'm probably never going to take them out and just leave them in there for the most part. Alright, and then moving over here, we have my Indiana Jones movie display. My Wolverine number 1 and 2. That's my Robert Englund signature. A little bit of Cuphead stuff. That Godzilla, I was so happy that I was able to get my hands on that. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the right hand that fires, but unfortunately, that's with a lot of them, the hand goes missing, so I'm kind of keeping my eyes out here and there to see if I can ever pick up the hand to get that as a full display. And then down here is all of my World of Nintendo figures with my NES, which I kind of love how this display came out. I'm kind of hoping that they keep pushing with this line, and hopefully they can pick up the licensing to Kirby, because it's been a while since they've had anything like Kirby put out and stuff like that. So we'll see, but I'm definitely an avid collector with that. Alrighty. And then finally, moving on over here, I have my Stan Lee signature Avengers poster. And then I have my Avengers movie cell still. That was Secret Wars number 1, which I was really excited. I found that at just a random old antique store, and it was just sitting there, and I couldn't believe I just found it. And then there was that Superman vs. Muhammad Ali, which again, that NECA, just the way that they did that box was just so amazing, I just couldn't pull it out. So I'm leaving it in there for now. And then I was able to pick up an Ant-Man number 1, Scott Lang version, which was amazing. And I still have my Shazam number 1, and my Superman vs. the Flash, and then a Flash Annual, which I just love all the characters on there, so I had to put it in there. And then my dog kind of got my Mickey ears, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep them, but I'll be at Disney World soon, so I might just pick up a new pair. And then there's my Steamboat Willie Mickey. And then for the last part, just nothing too special, just Guardians of the Galaxy, little woolly Yoshi. And then we're pulling it down here to my Portal 2 figures. And then last of all would be just my gumball machine like I've had for a while now. So I hope you enjoyed the video for the most part. Like I said, there's been a lot of stuff that's been added into this room. So I hope that you can see the differences, and I just hope to continue to keep growing. I'm probably going to be moving out pretty soon, so kind of not looking forward to having to take all this stuff down and start all over again. But with the new place coming up and everything, I'm thinking that I can get a decent sized room and get this stuff properly displayed a little bit better, and I can go all in on it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.